Hey guys, this is another episode of
The Scoop Phase.
Oh my god, the Scoop
Scoop
Phase.
him up now, I lost the game.
That's right, another episode
like
of the Scoop
you.
Phase, which we did not know when we made this. There was actually a podcast called the Scoop Phase.
Wait, this is a thing?
That is actually a podcast. You should actually go check them out. Because they'll never actually make an actual podcast called the Scoop Phase now, because that's theirs.
Well, I guess we're just YouTube cast.
Yeah. I have no idea what it's about. I've never listened to it once, but you guys should do it and then tell us. But we are doing a, set review kind of thing. We're going over the spoilers that were all made, which we haven't really had time to do it when they were being spoiled, but now that they're all spoiled, we figured might as well because we don't have to wait and look stupid because they printed something that makes the other cards bad. What's they haven't. But we're going to start with the green, white, and blue, white cards because they're right next to each other on this.
Just point out the good ones, please.
Yes.
Not all of them.
Dragon Lord Drachma. 4 green, white. Green, white, and 4 colorless, I guess. Which way to the way. 5/7 can't be countered. It's pretty good. Flying Lifelink. That's pretty good. Opponents cannot play spells during your turn. That's even better. Seems like a staple.
My brother seems to think this is better than I do, which is weird because he's a blue player.
Yeah, I'm a fucking
But that might be because he's a blue player.
Yeah, I see the potential of how much it's going to hose me.
Like, it's going to make you insert on your turn.
Yeah.
Not counter anything. But my personal problem with this is 6 mana. And I am more on the I like to beat down side.
Yeah, but
well, it's the
this is
format's-
good against your deck, too.
Yes, it is.
It's good against every deck.
7 toughness is real hard to kill.
And 5 power is really good against every deck. It kills Siege Rhino. It kills
It eats a siege rhino.
pretty much every relevant creature in Standard.
Except for Silumgar.
Except
And
for
then
Silumgar.
it just like, hi.
Hey, Silumgar, what's up, buddy?
Just kind of bounce off each other.
Bro? Ujitai. Dragon Lord Ujitai.
Well, I was just gonna say, if it was 5 mana, everything's played. 6
Oh,
mana,
God.
I think it'll just stay the sideboard play until control comes through.
If it costs 5, it would just be too good.
That card would be main decked. It's like a 1
Too
or
good.
2 of. Like, so
Elder Dragon, by the way.
all the new dragons
all the
are-
Dragon Lords are Elder Dragon.
If you know the Elder Dragons, it's not because they're as powerful as the Elder Dragons. It's just because they are old. They're 1,200-year-old dragons. They're old. That's why they're called Elder Dragons.
Correct. Dragon Lord Ujitai. Second, gotta zoom in. Has hexproof as long as it's untapped. That's alright.
Weird.
It reminds me a lot of there's an old angel. It has like protection from all colors and artifact as long as it's untapped. Which, like, whenever you cast like an instant or sorcery, you untap it or something. But it was just a really weird card. But it's a 5/4 flying, and whenever Dragon Lord Ujitai deals combat damage to an opponent, or does it say opponent? It says to a player. Okay, so if they active treason it wouldn't really matter because it says a player, but. Either way, opponent makes sense. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 in your hand and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order.
Hey, you remember Prognostic Sphinx? This is a lot like Prognostic Sphinx, except you're not discarding cards to give it hexproof. The downside, once you turn that thing sideways, it can die to removal spells.
The upside
The upside
you get
is
counter spells to counter those.
yes,
Yeah.
and it's a 5/4.
And it draws you more counter spells.
It takes a Stoke the Flames to kill it at instant speed, on your turn.
A red deck has to either double burn spell or stoke the flames it.
And they have to resolve.
Yeah, on your turn. Specifically on your turn, unless they have something new and crazy to tap it.
Now I thought this just drew a card, and you just read to me it's a mini impulse.
Yeah, it's a mini.
Or the new card Anticipate.
Yeah, it's anticipate.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You guys remember Prognostic Sphinx? Yeah, well, this is a lot like it. And it said instead of scrying 3, you're putting 1 in your hand. Now, is that as good? I don't know. It's probably a little better.
Digs the same amount of depth.
It digs the same amount of depth. It's probably better just because you're getting the card right away.
Yep.
But you never know.
Drachma's Command. Green-white. 2 mana.
I was thought we were going to go over what decks they can go in.
Blue-white control and then mid-range blue-white decks.
Or I could side with that my Jeskai deck. That thing's sick.
Yeah, blue-white decks.
For the Abzan mirror? Or no, the Abzan matchup? Man, beat down.
Drachma's Command. 2 mana, green and white, instant speed, so it's just 2 mana total. Prevent all damage that an instant or sorcerer would deal. It stops things like Anger the Gods from wrathing your team, or burn spells from hitting you in the face or killing your dude.
Fair enough.
Other modes, sorry about my hands, by the way, guys.
We're jerk.
You can say it. Target player sacrifices enchantment. That's alright. It's probably going to be kill target Corsair of Crufix and Sander right now, but
Hopefully you nab that master against your opponent's
it's
league.
good against Jeskai Ascendancy, it's good against Banishing Light, it's good against Gods.
Don't talk about my Jeskai Ascendancies.
Gods. Oh, Gods. the other ones. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, or no, on target creature. That's weird. So you can like buff their guy and then Valorous stance it.
Might come up.
People have done that.
I don't know if anyone remembers the old Rancor Selesnya charm.
Yeah, Rancor, like Celestia Charm.
Or the Gore Clan Rampager Selesnya charm.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love doing that trick. Like, wait, what?
Back in those days. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Now, I see this as often being the last two modes. Buff a guy and then fight two guys.
Well, the important thing is this gives the green-white devotion something it needs for the mirror quite badly.
Protection.
A way to kill a Master of the Unseen. And a removal spell.
And a way to kill Whisperwood
Elemental. Yes, albeit a conditional removal spell, but a removal spell nonetheless.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And the final mode?
The final mode was the fight.
What was the other three modes? I heard the Eat It, the counter. Oh, is the counter and fight not the same thing?
No.
It just puts a ++ counter on something?
Yeah.
That's weird.
I
thought it also had gain 4 life on there. That's the blue one.
That's
right?
the blue one, which is next.
I do like how it counters Anger of the Gods, like you said. That does matter.
It does stop Anger of the Gods. That's a very good thing, yeah.
If you've ever had to play against Anger of the Gods with a beatdown deck, this counters it.
Correct, it does.
Real well.
Also, I'd see it as often being a Hunt the Weak at instant speed for 2 mana.
Now,
that's pretty good.
What excites me is its potential for Modern. Because if you play Zoo like I have, Anger of the Gods is a card you have to beat. Normally you play Boros Charm, but that's a main deck card. If you just really want to beat Anger of the Gods without playing Burton Forge Tender, which is a really bad card.
Ugh.
Well, it's really conditional card. When I say bad, I probably mean conditional. Or it's just bad. It's a really narrow card. Whereas this card is not so narrow, because it can also counter burn spells. It can also make your guys out of... It can grow almost all the creatures in Zoo out of a Vault range that would die to a Vault. And then fighting... It might actually matter, killing your opponent's Bird's Paradise. Finishing off Tarmogoyf.
Maybe we should just name this cast Also Driving to Work.
Also
driving back. The sun's coming back. Ujatai's command is interesting. I wish it didn't do this, but it has return target creature card can remember cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So like reanimates a small guy.
Reanimate Death Snapcaster Mage right
By the way, it's 2 colorless and then a blue and a white. So it's 4 mana. Other mode is you gain 4 life. Counter target counter target creature spell. And then draw a card. Those are the 4 modes. Seems alright. I don't see it making a big splash. Like maybe in sideboards, like it's pretty good against burn.
I think this can be a 1-of in Modern and a 1-of in Standard.
Modern?
Well, like, this does something Cryptic Command can't do. Against the burn matchup. It says gain 4 life, which is a big deal.
I don't know why I look over there, the camera's right over there.
And you can always remember, it can reanimate a Snapcaster Mage. Like, if people can Restoration Heal Snapcaster, I think reanimating
and then you can also reanimate another Snapcaster Mage for Snapception. Continuing on, because it's not really that good.
I mean, I'm not saying this is going to see Modern play, but it has the potential to be a 1-of.
No, I think this actually does have potential in the Devotion deck. Erishon Solver. Like, as a sideboard deck for Wraths. 5 green-white. It does cost 7. That is the downside. Which is also somewhat of an upside, because it means Ugin, if they play it right after, they have to -8. Or -7 and kill off their Ugin. Just to get rid of this. When it dies, you put it on the top or bottom of its owner's library. It's a 6/6 and flying. It's alright. I don't think it's rare, that's unfortunate. I don't think it's really going to be a lot of play. I think it's just going to be specifically that, or like the mid-range mirrors.
Because if your opponent plays this limited and you don't have a way to exile it, you should probably concede the game if you're not ahead on board.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, if you're not ahead on board, and you have no way in your deck to exile this card, or like lock it down.
Yeah, take it.
Then concede the game and go on to the next one for time. Save the time, try to win in the match.
And this card's also pretty good in like mid-range mirrors that aren't like green-white Devotion.
You know what, guy? You can get in the other lane. Because this is a highway, and there's 2 lanes. Get in the other lane. Don't make me sit at a stop sign for 5 minutes. Get in the other lane. I'm ranting right now.
The hate cycle.
This is the hate cycle.
Encased in ice. Encased in ice. Yeah, I was timing that one. 1 in blue. Flash. It's an aura. Enchant red or green creature. When it enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. And it does not untap during its untapped. Its controller's untapped time.
There's 5 of these cards, all at uncommon. They since the clans no longer exist, they did something cool. They made a card that was the color that was removed from said guild or clan, it hates on the 2 colors that stuck around.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. Timor is now... What is Timor? Green and something.
Just because blue-white, this is a blue hate card for red and white.
Well, the more...
Oh, no, this is red and green. Oh, yeah, this is Timor. Okay.
Yeah.
So they did do that.
Target's red-green, and it's blue hating on red-green. Blue's no longer there.
The white
doesn't
one...
do any... I don't think any of them are... Yeah, I don't think any of them are spectacular by any means.
Yeah, but they're all right.
They're all potential sideboard options.
Surge of Righteousness. 1 and a white. Destroy target black or red creature that's attacking or blocking. You gain 2 life. Now this has a lot of potential.
Yes.
I feel.
Mono red aggro is a big thing. People played...
It's also good against Siege Rhino and Tarkir.
Fair enough. People played...
which are all already staples.
Yeah, for Rikus Gear, this is much easier to cast, and it does the exact same job. It kills a creature that's pestering you, and it gains 2 life.
And it's
the problem is you won't be able to kill their creature before they can start using spells on it.
Or they trigger raid, like on the black guy that comes back from raid. The only downside, yeah.
The downside is you have to use it in combat.
The upside is you don't have to play a black deck.
And the upside is you're not paying 2 colored mana symbols, you're paying a single colored mana symbol and 1 colorless. Okay. Which is very good.
Hidden Dragon Slayer. Oh yeah, 1 and a white for a 2/1 with lifelink. It's a Megamorph card. Its Megamorph is 2 and a white. So you pay 3 to put it into play, and then you can pay 3 to flip it up. And it becomes a 3/2. So, right?
The track history for cards like this.
Like people would say 6 mana, I would say 2 turns. There's a big difference in 6 mana and 2 turns.
The track record of cards like this are actually quite good.
Yes.
Cards that have 2 power and lifelink at 2 mana have been known to see standard play. Not because they're necessarily great Magic cards, but because aggro decks are annoying, and you like to have sideboard 2-drops for them. Did you read what happened when it flips up?
No, I was about to. You interrupted.
I know.
When Hidden Dragon Slayer, obviously the name's awesome, Hidden Dragon Slayer, when it's turned face up, destroy target creature, power 4 or greater, and opponent controls.
Now, if I hadn't already sold you on this card as a sideboard card...
Kill Siege Rhinos and Tarkirs.
And Courser of Crufix.
Not Courser, it's power.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, they made a mistake.
And Tarkir.
That does matter.
It hunts dragons.
Can't kill Stormbreath Dragon.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Well, actually, that does matter. But you know what? Whatever.
Stratus Dancer, continue.
Big fan.
Like the card has potential in aggressive decks and mid-range decks. But
this seems like a really good 1 or 2 of in your sideboards.
Not a very good card in control decks, but Stratus Dancer is 1 blue for a 2/1 flying. Also has Megamorph. They just made a weird cycle of these, but its Megamorph is 2 mana, 1 in the blue. It's casting cost. That's pretty cool. So
I don't know why you have the camera like this instead of on you, but whatever.
It becomes this. What's the mic put out? Oh, okay. I might as well just do this then. I don't know if they're actually catching along. Megamorph becomes a 3/2 flying. Whenever it's turned face up, counter target instant or sorcery.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's all right. I wish it was negate.
I'm going to be sideboarding this card for one reason. It's the worst case scenario for this card. It's a 2 mana 2/1 flyer. If you have no pressure, you can just play it out as an attacker.
You can actually just play it out as a 3/2 flying. You don't have to counter something.
You can also do that. If you don't have anything to play on turn 2, this is your play. Against a control deck, this seems like a really great sideboard card. I'm actually on a Jeskai Ascendancy aggro with Jeskai Ascendancy and Worthing Outburst. I'm not full on tokens. I'm playing that right now in Standard as I'm getting back into it. That card seems like a great sideboard option.
I'm just going to read this anyways. Clone Legion. For each creature target player controls, you get a token that's a copy of that creature.
Hi, Siege Rhino.
7 and blue.
Now, if this wasn't 9 mana, I think this card could see Standard play.
This is an EDH staple.
Now, when you play EDH, in multiplayer EDH, this card can do some stupid stuff. There are plenty of creatures in EDH that if you get to clone all of them...
What is important, it does say target player, not target opponent.
You can clone yourself, yes. Now, if you're like me and playing 5-color Child of Alara, you can do whatever the F you want, and you can just put a copy of all your things into play.
I would play it, except
you want to know why?
I'm playing
because that's degenerate.
I'm playing the 5-color Horde of Notions Legends deck. It's like every other card is a legend. So one's very bad, but Myth Realized isn't. It's a 1-white. I am really, really hyped about this card. I don't think it's worth its price. I don't think it'll see as much play as it will be. But Myth Realized is a 1-white enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets a lore counter. Tap 2 and a white. it gets the lore counter. Now, you might ask what these lore counters do, if you haven't read it yet in the spoilers. But you can tap 1 white mana, single white, just like its casting cost. It becomes a star, white avatar monk. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of lore counters on it. So it's pretty good. I like it a lot. I'm gonna play in blue-white control over Auto Playmail because it costs 1 mana, not 4. It's pretty good. Another mana sink too. That's pretty good.
There are, I think, 2 decks that can play this. The Jeskai variant's not the full-on aggro version, just because it feels like this is too slow for that deck. You're taking off not only your first turn, but any turns after where you try to animate this, or like you're just putting lore counters on it. So I don't think it's good enough for the full-on Jeskai aggro deck. But in the some more slower versions, even Jeskai tokens, where you're playing, most of your creatures aren't creature spells. They'll put a counter on this.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
And it also triggers Ascendancy late.
And it does trigger your Jeskai Senses, which does matter.
Sunscorch Regent.
Once again, I just want to add on. I don't think this card is going to... I think this card is probably going to be bulk.
Sunscorch Regent?
No, the Jeskai.
The Myth Realized?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be bulk.
Not many decks are going to play it.
But it seems fine as like a 1 or 2 of in sideboards for the control matchup. This is not the most amazing card in the world, but it has potential.
Yeah. Removal is relevant, so you don't want to main deck it too much. Like, it's really good in blue-white control because you don't play that many actual creatures. So, it's pretty good.
If any.
If any. Helio. Not really a creature. Sunscorcher Regent. 3 white for a 4/3 flying. Now, I only think 2 Regents are really playable. This one and the red one. But, I will continue. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, it gets a 1/1 counter, and you gain 1 life. It's pretty good. So, it does not die to Lightning Strike.
Ever.
Unless they can stop that ability.
Stifle.
Yes.
Now, if this was 4 mana, I think this card would just be slammed into sideboards immediately. Being at
That'd be main deckable. It's a 4 mana. It'd be a 4 mana 4/3 flyer.
Now, being at 5 mana, I think it did definitely affect this card's ability to be standard playable, because you can't play this in aggressive decks anymore at 5 mana.
Correct.
It's no Stormwrath Dragon, doesn't have haste, and the matchup you'd bring this in would be another aggressive deck. And in that matchup, you don't want to go. You want to go a little bigger. You don't want to go over the top, because then you're just too slow.
I like it.
Yeah,
Mid-range decks
for like a
mirrors.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
Like it could be mid-deckable in those in mid-range decks, except it's not good against control.
I just foresee this being like a 1 or 2, like maybe a 2 of in sideboards, probably 1 of.
The control deck would play it because it's good against aggressive decks, and it's good against mid-range decks. But it's horrible against like actual control decks.
Yeah. Whereas once you get against stuff like decks that, in the later the game goes, they're just going to rely on trying to burn you out. This card can make that very difficult because all their burn spells are going to do 1 less damage and give you a bigger body. We can
Dance of the Skywise.
Okay.
It's a pretty good card. I like it. 1 in a blue. Target creature becomes a 4/4 dragon. It loses all abilities and then gains flying. I think it's just alright. It's pretty. I like it in the heroic deck.
I like it.
Yep.
It makes 4/4. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying this
It's
card.
a single 4/4.
I'm just gonna say
Until end of turn.
I don't think this card's a great guess. I don't think you need to be picking up this card.
Yep.
But it's cool,
It
and
has
I want
potential.
to do some things. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think this card's gonna impact standard in any meaningful way.
Fringe.
But
It's like the Ornithopter deck.
But this is certainly a very fun card to be playing with because you can just be like, oh, 4/4.
Just like
Kill
Dragon Hunter.
Look, with Powers creatures, they keep their +1/+1.
I'm trying to segue.
So it makes a 5/5 dragon.
Dragon Hunter is 1 white for a 2/1. That's pretty much all the text it actually needs. But we'll continue. Protection from dragons, and they can block dragons though at reach.
So when you make your opponent's creature a 4/4, you get to block it!
That is dang right.
Or you could declare it as a blocker and then make it a dragon so it doesn't die.
Illusionary Gains. I actually like
But
the card.
hold on, there's the most important part about this card.
I'm about to lose.
It's another 1 mana 2 power white creature. That's like what, the 16th one? Soldier, that guy, the other one. Motor Woe Reaper. There's 12. Is there any more? I don't know. We'll find out later.
Illusionary Gains. When you continue this quickly. 3 blue. Enchant creature. You control enchanted creature. But whenever another creature enters the battlefield under opponent's control, gain control of that creature. Or you attach it to that creature, and then you control the enchanted creature. So it's like yes and no. No. I'm keeping this as my music. So
Is that everything in blue and green, sir?
Not yet. There is Narset. But there's Negate, which everyone should know.
Everyone should know Narset. Sold out at $50 on Star City Games. Don't do that. I think this card is no higher than $15. I don't think it's going to warp standard in such a way that it will warrant such a high price tag. I don't think it's good enough in enough decks to warrant being that price tag, so I think you just need to wait for this card to go down.
Bro.
Secure the Waste is my kind of card. 1 white and X. At instant speed, you get X 1/1 white soldier tokens. Now, I'm just going to play this Jeskai tokens as one of, probably in the sideboard. Now, this card is not going to shape standard. I foresee this being maybe $1 or $2. It's not going to be very expensive. But, this is a card that I'm going to play with because I like making a lot of soldiers when I am flat out.
Yeah. Silk Wrap is pretty good, too. 2 mana, 1 white, enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature, convert a mana cost 3 or less.
Why are we switching to white now?
It's white and blue. White and blue. Such as cards like Anafenza the Kintree Spirit. 2 white.
How about we just finish them later?
Whenever another 2 white for a 2/2 legendary Spirit
Get out of
Soldier.
my car.
Just a second, we're almost done. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield, that's racist. Bolster 1. That's pretty good. Now, Uchitai Exemplars is a 4/4 for 4, 2 white. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose 1.
How about stop? We go over them and
Tap something.
We have plenty of time later in the day.
Gain first strike and lifelink
Get out of my car.
until end of turn. Or you Etherling it.